On December 27, 2008, Israel launched an assault on the Gaza Strip, using its aerial, naval, and ground forces to attack the people of Gaza from all directions.
And it's not just one or two factories destroyed, it's systematically. You have to go and see it on the eastern road, factory after factory. The biscuit factory, were they producing terrorist biscuits? The ice cream factory, the cement factory, and on it goes. How are we to restore people to a dignified existence if there is no basis? There's no economy, there's no basis for an economy. These people are being destroyed in every respect back to a dependency. The bottom line here is that we have to see it in very simple terms. The truth. Justice. You can keep all your money, you can keep all your aid, medicine, food, all of that. What the people of Gaza want in the first instance now is justice.
22 days later, with over 1,400 dead and thousands injured, Gaza lay in rubble. In addition to its regular arsenal, Israel deployed weapons such as white phosphorus against the civilian population in ways that amount to war crimes. The mass destruction was aimed to bring Gaza to its knees after 18 months of complete closure had already devastated the health and well-being of the Palestinians.
أصعب حرب علينا كانت الحرب هذه، لأنه في كل حروب هذه كانت إسرائيل بتواجه جيوش. في هذه الحرب إحنا كنا المستهدفين، يعني ما في جيوش عشان يحاربوها. بيوتنا، شوارعنا، أرضنا، مواطنينا، بفسفور من السماء، صواريخ، طيارات بتضرب في مين؟ بتضرب في المدنيين. كل الضرب كان في المدنيين.
وقفت من دبابة بعيدة عن البيت 10 أمتار يعني بس، ووجهت مدفعها على البيت. طلعت أمي وزوجتي وبناتي وأنا، كنا رافعين رايات البيضاء. كانوا 2 جنود برا الدبابة، واحد بياكل شوكولاتة وواحد بياكل شيبس. احنا ظلينا واقفين، ما قالولناش لا نطلع برا ونرجع على البيت. اتفاجأنا بيطلع جندي ثالث من الدبابة ومعاه سلاح وبيبدأ يطلق النار على الأطفال. معاه يعني M16 وبيبدأ يطلق النار على الأطفال.
Then we were surprised.
بتطلع بنتي أمل عمرها 2 بطنها برا طلع. كانت حاملة دبدوب، كان معها دبدوب حملها، كانت أمل لعبتها الدبدوب الصغير الأبيض، انعدم الدبدوب معاها.
Palestinians in Gaza have remained steadfast and even during the onslaught found ways to overcome the intense efforts to break them.
نتعامل معاه فوري، يعني في الحرب تعاملنا بسرعة، أي طارئ يصير نتعامل معاه فوري.
على رفح وزعنا على القرارة وعلى الشمال، وزعنا على الزوايد في الوسطى، وعلى رفح يعني كنا الصواريخ فوقنا وإحنا بالناضل، يعني كنا بنجاهد وبنمشي فوق الصواريخ تحت الصواريخ.
We are feeding 900,000 people. I can only get in enough aid at the moment to feed 30,000 a day. So do your mathematics on that. How long it takes to get to the last person, to wait to be fed. So it's like, hold on there now, we'll get to you. When?
4 months before Operation Cast Lead, with Gaza already facing food shortages, rising rates of malnutrition and anemia, and with the international community barely looking on as Israel squeezed Gaza with a punishing blockade, the Free Gaza movement launched its first boats from Cyprus to break the criminal siege. Our 2 small boats became the first to reach Gaza in over 40 years. The Free Gaza movement continued to send boats to Gaza in October, November, and December, bringing in symbolic amounts of material that Israel had barred from entering Gaza, and more importantly, taking to Gaza parliamentarians from Europe and the Arab world, Nobel Prize winner Mairead Maguire, government officials, human rights observers, doctors, and journalists. All could not enter Gaza any other way. After the start of Operation Cast Lead, the Free Gaza movement attempted to sail 2 emergency missions to Gaza to challenge Israel's military onslaught and to shake the world to action to halt this latest crime. The first ship, the Dignity, with many journalists and former U.S. Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney on board, was brutally rammed by an Israeli naval ship and damaged.
New developments to reports in the seas off Gaza. CNN reporter Carl Penhall is aboard a boat, a ship called the Dignity, that was approaching Gaza with an intention to deliver medical supplies. There has been a contact with an Israeli Navy boat, we understand. Carl Penhall is on the line. Carl, what can you tell us?
The boat, while still in international waters, has been rammed by Israeli patrol boats. The boat, our vessel, has been damaged.
That boat, while according to our CNN reporter Carl Penhall, who was on it at the time, was in international waters, was rammed by an Israeli patrol boat. And there you see the boat itself had to make way back to Tyre in Lebanon as it was taking on water. Also on board that craft was former Georgia Congresswoman, former presidential candidate Cynthia McKinney, and she joins us now via the internet from Tyre in Lebanon. And Congresswoman McKinney, can you tell us what happened? We had our Carl Penhall saying that you were in international waters, clearly in international waters, when accosted by and confronted by these Israeli patrol boats.
Well, I wouldn't call it accosting. I would call it ramming. Let's just call it as it is. Our boat was rammed 3 times, twice in the front and 1 on the side. But let me also state for the record that what we experienced earlier today pales in comparison to what the people of Gaza are experiencing right now as we do this interview.
Right, but
our mission was a peaceful mission to deliver medical supplies, and our mission was thwarted by the Israelis, the aggressiveness of the Israeli military.
The second ship, the Spirit of Humanity, was nearly capsized in international waters by Israeli warships and had to turn back.
We are actually in international waters. We are very far from the blockade area. We are in a very legitimate mission. We are far from the blockade area.
On June 29th, the Free Gaza movement launched its latest mission, carrying symbolic amounts of building supplies and materials to help Gaza rebuild, in addition to medical equipment and toys for children.
Back to Monica immediately.
On June 30th, the boat was surrounded by Israeli naval forces.
Israeli Navy, you are threatening to open fire on an unarmed ship and unarmed civilians carrying only humanitarian aid headed for the Gaza Strip. This is illegal. Repeat, you are threatening to open fire on unarmed civilians who constitute no threat to the state of Israel or its armed forces.
They have jammed our GPS and our radar.
There's a ramp coming up behind us. This is probably what they use if they want to board our boats. It is getting closer, so it's something we have to be prepared for.
We got one kite on this side.
The Free Gaza movement is now moving on to phase 2 of its mission to break the Israeli siege of Gaza. Later this summer, it will launch a cargo ship with 2 accompanying passenger boats to break the siege and bring into Gaza not just symbolic aid, but the supplies Gaza really needs to start rebuilding. The Free Gaza movement is a volunteer, international effort to break the illegal Israeli siege on Gaza. As part of its effort to criminalize war and to break the silence and complicity of the international community, the Free Gaza movement will sail again and again to challenge Israel's brutal policies.
You know, sometimes people have to stand with courage and do what's right. And when people are doing what's wrong, as is the Israeli government now with collective punishment of 1.5 million people, civilians, we've got to call their bluff when they threaten to attack us and shoot us, and we've got to go to help the people.
When our governments are impotent in the face of massive human rights abuses, apartheid, and ethnic cleansing, we, the people of the global community, must take action.